welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Thank you again for the love on the last few videos and on this ocean series that I'm really loving. So in the last video you would have seen we made some silicone inlays, and in this video we are going to be putting them into Jesmonite. We are also using some garden stones, and why not? Because we can do whatever we want. We can do whatever we want. Hope you enjoy. Let's go. Following on from making our silicone inlays, and honestly, oh my gosh, I am loving them so much. This is where you need to think about your mold. So already I know that some of these inlays are too deep for these petri dishes, and the reason I chose these petri dishes for this video is because they're deep. They're a really deep coaster mold. So again, when you're making your inlays, think about your molds and how you're going to use them moving forward. It doesn't always matter, because I do have a video coming up where we use these inlays in resin, and it does not matter about the size or the depth of the inlay, because yeah, we're doing something a little bit different. The first thing I'm going to do is actually wipe these inlays, making sure that they are perfectly clean and that they will stick to the bases of my molds. Now, silicone will cling to silicone, so like a suction. So you don't have to worry about sticking them in or using glue. I've had this question in the past, like, did I use glue to stick them in? No, silicone will happily suction to silicone. They will come off, of course, but they won't come off in the process of creating your piece. So I decided to choose these 4 inlays. Now, I could have gone with the deeper inlay, but honestly, I wanted kind of like flat pieces. I didn't want to fill these molds right to the top with Jesmonite, so I figured I would go for my flattest pieces that I've made and just put 2 silicone inlays in each mold. What I'm doing then is just pushing them down, like I'm just giving them a little squish and a shove to make sure that they are super suctioned to the base of the molds. Now, there is a chance, of course, that they will rise up at some point and that some liquid will get in underneath. So whether you're using Jesmonite, cement, you know, any pouring compound or resin, there is always a risk that some will seep down and underneath. But I'll be honest, the best molds for that suction to be the best it can be are Moulds and Shapes. Like, I know I am an affiliate for them, but the Moulds and Shapes molds are so super squishy silicone that they are the best silicone to create that pure suction. But you can see there, I just picked it up, turned it upside down. They're not going anywhere soon, and they work a dream. Now, the next thing I thought I would try, similar to terrazzo actually, I've not tried this before. I know people use seashells and I can't even think of the name, abalone shells. I don't have any abalone shells. I would love some, but I don't have any. So I figured I would try some garden stones. Now, these stones I bought a long time ago from the garden centre. They're just decorative stones, really. I just put them in and I tried as much as possible to find their flattest edge, because I didn't know what the results would be, or even if like the Jesmonite would just be too heavy and push them out of the way. So I tried to put them in flat face down. It didn't necessarily work out that way, but yeah, I thought it would add a nice little touch to the bottom, like a beachy vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's beach there, there's beach, there's stones at most beaches. That was my thought process. Now, I'm actually going to colour my Jesmonite with the Azure Blue Arteza mica powder. You can colour Jesmonite with mica powder and it is beautiful, subtle pastel shades. But into that, I'm adding just 2 or 3 drops of the blue Jesmonite pigment. It's so much stronger, and this is going to give me an ocean marble. That was my thought anyway. It's going to give me an ocean marble effect. And yeah, I figured it was just going to be nicer than going pale, plain block colour, just to add some difference and some texture and something more interesting to look at. Who does not love a marble? Now, the only difficulty with Jesmonite needs to be tapped and shaken. So after you've poured your Jesmonite, to reduce risk of air bubbles, you really want to give your molds a good tap, a good shake, a shimmy, a vibration, whatever you can do. But because I've got those inlays in there, because I've got the stones in there, I'm nervous. I'm just going really gently, little taps, little baby taps around the edge, because I don't want to dislodge anything. Now, this is 30 minutes later. If you are new to Jesmonite, yes, 30 minutes later, and we can see that that Jesmonite has indeed seeped under these pieces. But because we're only 30 minutes in, Jesmonite is weak at demold. It's weak after 30 minutes, strong enough to demold, but it's weak at this point. So I know we have no issues. Any excess Jesmonite that has seeped in and under will just flick off as it is here. And oh my goodness, the detail in these inlays. I'm loving the fact that even though we used cling film to emboss the polymer clay, the detail has still come through that cling film, and I could not be happier. There is something so magical about starfish and turtles. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. What is your favourite sea creature? And yeah, I'm loving them together on the same coaster. These are still going to be ideal coasters. Your cup of tea won't, you know, fall down into these. But look at this marbling. This marbling is beautiful. So you colour your cement or your concrete or your Jesmonite or your Hydroflow, whatever it is you're using. You can colour it with your mica powder and then add in a deeper pigment, which is what I've done here to create this marbling. And it is beautiful marbling. I'm loving it so much. So I already know at this point we need to sand these babies back because we've put those stones in. So it's a similar principle to your terrazzo chips. You need to sand back to reveal them. Now I've got a sheet on the desk here. This is wet dry sandpaper, so always sand your Jesmonite with water. Always. It's so much easier. And actually this is quite a coarse grit because I still haven't ordered any more kind of really high grit. So this is quite coarse at 240. I think this is 240, 250. Yeah, 240. Just to really get that surface off. Now there is a risk here that we will expose air pockets because those stones were not flat. You know, they weren't flat. So there's definitely going to be some exposure of pockets, and that's fine. You know, Jesmonite, you should almost expect there to be air pockets. What we can do if we really wanted to is go back in and fill those, like you're filling cracks in the wall at your house. You can fill them in with more Jesmonite and then sand back again. I'm not going to do that though. I love organic. I love handmade with love, not perfection. And here we are. Once I give them a thorough wash in my bucket of water that I have in my bathroom when I do Jesmonite, that is how I wash my pieces. Then those stones, look at them. They're so cute. And guys, they look like shells. They actually look very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Pearlescent. They almost look pearlescent after sanding back. Really, really happy with the embossing. Of course, these inlays can be used any which way you want, but this is what they look like in Jesmonite. So happy with that marbling. I cannot get over it. I definitely want to try that again. I'm actually going to be doing some Jesmonite and epoxy resin mixed videos together in ocean theme, so maybe I can use this colour scheme again. Really loving it. Really loving it. I hope you've enjoyed this two-parter of making the silicone inlays and using them in the Jesmonite. And yeah, I really appreciate you all. So if you are still here, please do not forget to give me that thumbs up. And of course, comment down below. You know I really love hearing from you. And I am still doing my best to reply to everyone who replies on the day of the video. Anything after that, I am struggling. I'm struggling. But I've already put a video out explaining why that I do not reply to all comments now. But still, I appreciate all comments very, very much. Thank you again. So excited for the next video. The next video I'm going to be using these silicone inlays in epoxy resin, and oh my gosh, yeah, I'm in love. I fall in love a lot. I'm a Leo. Can't help it. I'll see you all then. Take care. Bye.